Empowering Overcomers. Step 3. Become aware and let go. Part 1. What do you need to overcome? Depression, anxiety, trauma, abuse, addictions, burnout, fear of not being good enough? Our life experiences can give us hard things to deal with, but there is hope for healing. We don't have to be a victim or even a survivor. We can become the champion of our own story as we overcome our challenges. The process of healing and overcoming has 3 steps. Step 1 is to feel good. Step 2 is to increase self-love. And step 3 is to become aware and let go. This video is part 1 of step 3, becoming aware and letting go. I'd like to explain a little bit about self-limiting beliefs. Self-limiting beliefs are negative thoughts and perceptions that we hold about ourselves and our abilities. We can also have limiting beliefs about the world, about money, about time, about relationships, about other people. When we have self-limiting beliefs, we often feel stuck. Here are some examples of self-limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve success. I'm not smart enough. I always fail at this. I'm not lucky. Bad things always happen to me. I can't change. I have to please everyone. I have to be perfect. I'm worthless. Life is hard. Money is the root of all evil. Rich people are bad. Relationships don't last. When we create self-limiting beliefs, they often follow up with self-sabotage. On a subconscious level, we try to make our experience match what we think we deserve, or match these self-limiting beliefs. When we match those beliefs, it makes us right. It makes life predictable and familiar, which feels safe. We create self-fulfilling prophecy. And we usually do this on a subconscious level. We're not aware that we're doing it. Some examples of self-sabotaging behaviors might be procrastination, negative self-talk, fear of success, avoiding responsibility, and repeating toxic relationships. So if I have self-limiting beliefs, I'd really like to know where it came from. There is always a reason why we feel and believe the way that we do. But just because I have a reason doesn't mean that what I believe is true. Beliefs are not the same as facts. Our beliefs often come from our past experiences, our society and culture that we are raised in, and other people. We particularly want to pay attention to what happened to us when we were children. What were our experiences? And especially, did we experience any trauma, abuse, neglect, abandonment, bullying, or divorce? We also want to take a look at the society and culture that we were raised in, particularly our family dynamics. How we were raised, our family, this creates the baseline for what we consider to be normal. We also want to become aware of other people who may have influenced us, like our parents, babysitters, teachers, siblings, friends, church leaders, or other adults. We particularly want to pay attention to things that happen to us during our formative years. From birth to about age 10, our brain is actively creating subconscious programs to make future responses and decision-making easier. That way, when a situation arises, we have an automatic response. I've seen this before, and I know what to do. We make decisions or conclusions about many things like, I am. I am what? I am lovable. I am stupid. I am whatever. We make a decision. We can also make decisions about what the world is like, what life is like, what we are supposed to be like. The default setting of our brain is to continue to use these original decisions and subconscious programming throughout our entire life. unless we choose to update and replace them. So think about that for a minute. Can you imagine your 7-year-old self making your financial decisions? Imagine your 6-year-old self making all of the decisions about your relationships. And imagine your 5-year-old self making decisions about whether or not you can do something. You might want to become aware and make some changes. Is it time for an upgrade? Becoming aware is a prerequisite for healing. We can't change something if we're not aware that it exists. Psychologist Carl Jung described our shadow as repressed parts of ourself that we find unpleasant or can't tolerate acknowledging. I also consider our shadow as something that affects or influences us that we're not consciously aware of. It's hidden in the shadows. An interesting thing about shadows is that they disappear when you shine light on them. Sometimes simply becoming aware is enough to release the influence of shadows. If you have experienced childhood trauma and abuse, there will be some additional steps that you need to take, and I have created a separate video on overcoming trauma and abuse. Here is a journaling exercise that can help you become aware of your subconscious beliefs. Grab a pen and a piece of paper. On the top of it, write a prompt, something like, I am. And then put the pen to the paper and write everything that comes to mind. When you can't think of anything else to write, pause, pick up the pen, tell yourself, good job. Now, let's dig deeper. Put the pen back to the paper and continue to write everything that comes to mind. You can do this with many topics. In addition to I am, you can think about the world is, life is, I am supposed to. Think about your relationship with money, for example. There are so many aspects about our life that we can become aware. It might be overwhelming to know where to start. Here are some suggestions. Is there an area of your life where you feel stuck? Is there an area in your life where you notice negative repeating patterns? These are excellent places to begin. When you become aware of a limiting belief, rewrite it in a way that serves you. Here's an example. If, in my journaling exercise, I became aware that I believe I have to be perfect or people won't love me, I can write that down as the old belief. Now, rewrite it in a way that serves you. For example, I strive for excellence, and I am worthy of love and connection just as I am, with all my imperfections. Now, it isn't easy to just choose a new belief when the old one is deeply rooted in our subconscious. So we're going to use a tool called EFT tapping to help us access the subconscious and rewrite our programming. Start by tapping the side of your hand. While you're tapping, say, even though I've created self-limiting beliefs, I deeply love and accept myself. Now we're going to begin a tapping sequence, tapping certain pressure points on our body. First, we tap the inside of the eyebrow, and then the outside of the eyebrow, below the eye, above your top lip, below the bottom lip. Then tap on your collarbone, on the top of your rib cage, and then the top of the head. And continue that in a repeating pattern. While you're tapping, first we want to let go of the old belief. You might repeat the belief, something like, I used to believe that I had to be perfect or people wouldn't love me. And keep tapping until that starts to feel a little better. You might say, I have to be perfect. I always have to be perfect. If I'm not perfect, people won't love me. And keep tapping until it feels okay. When you're ready to let it go, now we want to put in the new belief. I now choose to believe that I strive for excellence. I am worthy of love and connection just as I am, with all of my imperfections. And continue tapping that cycle until the new belief doesn't feel like a lie. Now it's time to talk about the action step. Some suggestions for this video are to spend 2 minutes journaling or to spend 2 minutes tapping. Remember that choosing one small thing and actually doing it is far more effective than wishing to do many things and then not doing any of them. Please visit the Hope for Healing website at hopeforhealingfoundation.org to download a free tracking sheet. Here's another thing that's helpful to be aware of. Authentic healing is not instantaneous like flipping on a light switch. It is gradual like a sunrise. Please be patient with yourself and with the process, and always remember to be compassionate with yourself. I encourage you to watch all of the videos in this series on empowering overcomers. Step 1, feel good. Step 2, increase self-love. Step 3, become aware and let go. Part 1 and Part 2. Overcoming trauma and abuse and why you are good enough right now. My name is Linda Bjork, and I am an overcomer. I have overcome depression, anxiety, trauma, low self-esteem, self-sabotage, self-limiting beliefs, and more. I created Hope for Healing nonprofit to help empower other people to be able to overcome their challenges as well. And I have interviewed hundreds of experts and overcomers on my podcast, Linda's Corner. I invite you to grab a copy of one of my books, like Crushed, A Journey Through Depression, and You Got This, an action plan to calm fear, anxiety, worry, and stress. Thank you.